Ay, 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 ay. Keep it going for Drew. Oh, man. It's a very warm welcome. It's good to see all of you. I'm chewing on something that I wanted to open up with a little bit. A friend of mine just recently admitted to a bunch of us friends, his wife was diagnosed with cancer last year. She's in remission now. She's doing much better. But he opened up to us about the ways that we had come to him to offer, sympathy. And he said, it really drove me mad when people wouldn't name cancer. They would just say that thing. They say, I'm sorry you're dealing with that thing. I hope I wasn't one of those friends, I don't know. But I was like, that's good to know. I think it's good for friends to know things they do that are really annoying. So I'm gonna tell you all something that my friends do that's really annoying. And it hasn't happened for a while. I'm usually okay with a lot of things that friends say when they're trying to search for words. But every time I've had a breakup, eventually one or many friends come to me and they say, you just need to get laid. And I hate that saying. I hate it mostly because what your friend is saying is, I'm done talking to you about your ex. And not only that, they are talking to the wrong person if they're really my friend. They're people in this audience here. They're people that you say you just need to get laid. As consenting adults, they'll go out and do that and move on with their life. If you and I have sex, you are going to meet my family. I am not casual. I'm not standing here on a platform of self-congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mark Pagan, and I'm a serial monogamist. And I hate it. It's just gotten me into trouble for so long. And that's the reason that all these friends were coming to me, because after 4 years, my girlfriend Lauren and I broke up. And all you need to know is I was just a mess. She was the one that I deemed the one for a while, and we just weren't in the right place. And so I was moaning and moaning and moaning, and I was getting these requests to just go and get laid by my friends. And I did that thing that we do when we break up and we have something traumatic or grief or a stressful situation. You take stock of your life. And so it's like, you know what? Let me add this all up. And I was in my mid-30s when this happened. I said, how many relationships, how long have I been in relationships? Put it all together, put the numbers down, and it was 15 years. A quinceañera of monogamy. And that was not a party that I wanted to have. And so I said, you know what? This is it. I'm making a change. I got to do something drastic here. So I took another step back, did something I'd never done before. I said, I am going to be celibate. I'm going to try that out. Because friends, you tell me to do this thing, what's going to happen? I'm going to get another relationship, and I'm going to just be back moaning with you. No. Let's just stop the intimacy altogether, which I thought was a good idea. So month one was fine. Month two was okay. Month three is when summer started in New York City, the most attractive place in the world. I'm sorry for where anybody else lives, but it is. It's incredible. And I started to do things. I started to observe myself doing things that I hadn't really done before. As you can see, I don't have a lot of hair, but I would ask the barber to always cut a little bit more just so they could touch my scalp for a little bit longer. And we don't carry cash, most of us don't, but I was making sure that every time I was going to the bodega, I was carrying cash. So I could just have those few seconds of what I call a cash touch, where they put your change on your hand. But worse, I was walking around, it was almost like a Victorian novel, because anytime I'd see skin, I was just like, oh dear. And it didn't matter from whom, and I was bumping into things, and I said, you know what, let's go with self-improvement. I am gonna go to the least erotic place in New York City, Lens Crafters. And I've got a relationship with my optometrist, I got a relationship with Lens Crafters. I'm not here to promote them, but they have done me a good service. And you're gonna have to just bear with me here. I'm gonna give you a little bit of primer on optics as well as my eyes. So I wear contact lenses. I'm sure many of you in the audience wear contact lenses. I know most of you know what contact lenses are. When I was going to Lens Crafters, was wearing what we call hard lenses, which is basically like saying to somebody, it's the equivalent of saying, I watch movies on a Laserdisc player. It's a very antiquated form of wearing contact lenses. As well, I have astigmatism in one eye, which means For both this kind of contact as well as astigmatism, I have to go into the office many times to find the right lens. All right, we got through the primer portion. So, but I was looking at this as a fun way to do an alternate thing besides dating. I was like, I'm just gonna go in and do science. And my doctor was great, this handsome young doctor named Dr. Raj, and he would laugh at my jokes, and he was very dry, and you would just go in there and do what you do during those appointments and just read the lines and things like that. And it was great. It was like a cocoon of asexuality almost. But then I'd leave and be in the world in New York City with all its attractions and desires and blah, 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 blah. Well, I was going there week after week, and on the last appointment, it was the 6th appointment, we found the lens. And I was reading all the lines. It was a pretty quick appointment, and he said, that's great, that's great. I said, I gotta do one more thing. And so he kneeled down a little bit, and he moved the device, the optic device, away from my face. And he said, look me in the eyes. And he got about 6 inches from my face, and he took his hands, and he put his thumbs, the bottom of my eyelids, and dropped my eyelids. At this point, he's about 4 inches from my face. And when he put his soft, moisturized fingers on my face, I said, and he stepped back. He said, my finger's cold. And I said, keep touching me, keep touching me, keep touching me. And so he went back to what he was doing. My head started swimming. Inagata Devita started playing. And I was just doing this assessment. I was like, oh my God, how long has it been? It's been 6 months since I've had sex. It's been 6 months since I've kissed somebody. It's been 6 months since somebody put their hands on my face and looked me in the eyes. And for the first time in my life, I said, oh my God, I need to get laid. So I saw an option here. What if I were to lean in 4 inches and lock lips? Like, what would happen? I heard some oh no's in the crowd. You're right. This is a medical professional, and he would probably say, what the hell are you doing? I'm going to call the cops. Or what if I leaned in? What if I leaned in? And he turned the lights off, and we turned lens crafters into a bordello. And I started thinking this through, and I've never had a sexual experience with a man before, but I thought, maybe this is the change that I need. And I kept going. It's like, well, eventually there's that phone call home. I talked to my mom about my identity. And I don't think that she would be shocked by me telling her that I was gay or bisexual. I think she'd be shocked that I told her I was dating a doctor. And then it would be the grapevine, whether fit. Mark's dating a Dr. Raj, yes, soft fingers. And then I just started getting greedy. I was like, I saw some nice couches at Pier 1. Optometrist salary is pretty good. So I just started modeling the house in my head. And I went through all of these scenarios while he was trying to figure out what the exact right prescription was for me. And I ended up going with my last and final option, which was I did not lean forward. I finished my appointment. I went home, and I signed on to OkCupid. And I got in another monogamous relationship. I'm in my early 40s now, and I am recently engaged. And moving into, yes, that final declarative monogamous definition. And I don't know what the case is for other people that have made that decision, but I have found it to be a very reflective time. I found it to be a very investigative time. I think it's important that you look back on all your lovers and everybody you were with and everything that led to this decision. And right around the time that I was stewing, that I was thinking about making this step of engagement, I was walking down Court Street in Brooklyn, and who did I see coming my way? Mr. Soft Fingers. And I did that thing that we do when we see an ex walking down the street where it's like, oh my God, do I look across the street? Do I cross the street? Do I look at my phone? What would be on my phone? I gotta keep eye contact. All of this stuff was going on. I said, you know what? I'm an adult. I'm gonna lock eyes with this guy and we're gonna just see what happens. And so he was about a block away, and I did just a little tractor beam and just kept my eyes on his, and he got closer and closer and closer and closer, and then eventually he looked up and locked eyes with me and then looked away and kept going. And I thought, you asshole. Did that not mean anything to you? So I ultimately can't change the way I deal with relationships, but I will leave you with this. I am now the permanent owner of Soft Lenses. Thank you, guys.
Mark Pagan, everyone.